Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today on Polywine, where we like to take stories pulled from various types of media and break it down, talk about it, give us our opinion, and just have a little fun with it and just talk about pop culture, entertainment, current events, sometimes politics, whatever we can kind of discuss that is going on in the world around us. We are not the news. We are merely entertainment and just discussing opinions and just talking about what's going on in the world around us. So let's get into it, shall we? So poor Britney Spears. She is really going through it. She was out at the Chateau Marmont in Los Angeles the other night with her, I guess, what you could consider is her boyfriend. And some form of altercation happened where 911 was called and the paramedics and I believe also the police were on the scene. She was taken away. I saw pictures on TMZ where she looked extremely disheveled. She said that she had also sprained her ankle, or injured her ankle, I should say, but it looks like a sprain. And she was complaining about that, but she was also saying that she was okay and it was just a misunderstanding. Britney Spears had come out afterwards and tried to clear up the story about the whole altercation. So, but it seems like she's really going through it. She was recently dismissed a couple years ago from the conservatorship between her father. That was in place for a very long time. When that whole Free Britney movement was happening, of course, you want someone to be happy and be able to live their life the way that they want to. However, when they are in need of help and they do have loved ones around them that are willing to take on that responsibility, and it is a responsibility when you take care of a loved one, full-time, part-time, just give a little bit of your time. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work and it's a lot of time. It's a lot of effort. And you do it because you love them and you want to be there for them and support them because you care for this person. But make no doubt about it. It's a commitment. It's a lot of work. It's very emotionally taxing and, psychologically, physically taxing. So it's a lot. So the fact that she had somebody in her family, and that was her dad, and I know he made a lot of money, and you can say what you want about the situation. He was overseeing it, from what I understand, everything in her daughter's life, her career, her finances, her medical situation. So he was in charge of everything, and she was on the top of her game. I mean, she had a residency in Vegas. She was, she seemed to have structure and, normalcy in her life at that time. I'm not 100% sure what was going on with her children's situation, but it seemed like even that seemed to be in a healthy and somewhat, I guess if you could call it, a normal spot. So she at least had that. So that was going on for her. But once the conservatorship ended, it seemed like everything went downhill pretty quickly. She started isolating herself, or at least her behaviors started isolating her from friends, loved ones, people in her circle and space that was at least trying to protect her or look out for her best interests, or at least had some form of concern for her. And those individuals and groups of people you could see them slowly dwindling away out of her life. And it seems to be due to her erratic behavior and instability. And it's really sad. But when this whole Free Britney movement happened, of course, like I was saying, you want someone to live their life the best way that they can, to their fullest, and to be their happiest. You want to live life. You don't want to exist in it. But even then, it's like, I want to support that movement. I think it was great, but we truly do not know the ins and outs of what is happening in her daily life, because they really tried to keep that very close to the chest. Her team, her father, I'm sure all of them, and whoever it may have been, but they were all trying to keep that very close to their chest. And it didn't really get out about it. And of course, all of her medical professionals had the confidentiality, so we didn't know what type of treatments that she was under. But, she was doing well. And shortly after that conservatorship ended, everything in her life started kind of going, erratic and spiraling, and her career's over, and she's posting the videos. The videos are really disturbing when you watch her on Instagram. I see them posted everywhere. It's sad to see her. She of course, she's an incredible dancer. She still looks great physically, but the things that she does and says, I should say, I couldn't spit that out. It's really sad to see. There's a little bit of a disturbing factor, and there's a little sometimes shock and awe, sometimes you want to say, but it's just sad to see the decline. And every time there's another video or she's doing a different accent, you're just like, is she aware of what she's doing? Is she aware where she is in that moment, in the presence? And it's the disconnect that she has to everything. And it is so unfortunate to see someone with such great talent and her whole life have such a really good work ethic, and to see everything just start to fall down the tubes is just awful. Like, she's going a lot on vacation. She's spending a lot of money. And look, the girl deserves to go on vacation. She's worked her entire life since she was a kid. She needs a vacation, obviously, but she is, from what the sources and the tabloids and, the online rumor mill, if you will, have been saying, that she's spending an extravagant amount of money. She's hanging around with the wrong groups and people, and she's just kind of all over the place and a little wild, and she's just going through her money really quickly, and she doesn't have anybody. And now, like before in her past, before the conservatorship took over, she was the cops and paramedics were being called, and she was having erratic behavior. And it seems like she's almost backpedaling again. And it seems, I was watching an interview on the news the other day. They were interviewing, they were talking about Britney Spears and one of the topics, and they were interviewing, I believe, a psychologist or a psychiatrist, and I'm not sure exactly their medical degrees at this one or whatever it may be, but they were saying that, at this point she's screaming for help. Obviously, clearly she needs help, but she needs immediate medication. This is what this individual was saying, that she needs help. She needs professional help. She definitely needs to get on some form of meds. And if she doesn't have some type of intervention, in their opinion, that what could happen next would be like a 5150, which is an involuntary hold, psychiatric hold, that the courts issued for your safety, and they observe you for several days, and to make sure that you are not a harm to yourself, you're not a harm to others, and you're going to be okay, and whatever may follow that. But it looks like that could happen. And she's all over the place, and you can't hide, and everybody has a camera, so wherever you go, somebody's going to see you and take a video of you. And Britney, you're doing enough of that yourself. You're posting your own videos, which are probably the worst thing that you can do for yourself right now. But there we are. I'm sorry, Britney. I hope you get the help that you need. I hope you get the wellness that you so deserve, and wish you all the best for your future, for yourself, for your family. But, you're still very young, Britney, and I really hope everything works out for you. I really do. So moving on to other news, other dramatic and news. The Jersey Shore family, the family show, it's there's a lot of drama going on. Sammy, the sweetheart, came back this season. I have to tell you, I haven't watched this show. I'll get clips now and again of their family adventures and their family vacations together and stuff like that. And I do watch it. I like that group together. They've gone through a lot. They've grown up together. To see how they interact together now that they're older and they have families and they're older and they're wiser and they've all been through stuff. I mean, you got Mike the Situation's gone to jail. They were there for him for that. They've all been married, divorced, kids, you name it. And to see that core group of friends still have each other. And yes, they fight like a family member and they drive each other crazy. You can see that they still do have some true deep love for each other as a friendship, as a chosen family, even though they were all mashed together by a film crew. They've been together for so long as a team filming that they kind of have made themselves a little family. And you can see it when they have their moments together and their conversations. You can see that they really do care for each other. But Sammy's been out. I know that for many years, since some of the earlier seasons. And I got to tell you, the early seasons, yes, I watched it. I enjoyed it. Full disclaimer, I actually have a dog named Snooki who is adorable. She is older. She's almost 15. And so that's how long the show's been on. Well, longer than that, I think. So my dog's 15 and I named her Snooki. And the reason we named her Snooki is she kind of had this yip sound that she would make, like the Snooki on the show back in the day when she was intoxicated. But she had this like super coppery, bronzy underbelly and paws. And it looked like a really golden fake tan. And with that Snooki sound and that Snooki tan, we ended up naming her Snooki. And she's a small little dog and she is amazing, funny, smart, hilarious, and just a goofball. So the name was a perfect fit. So that means I can tell you, I really enjoyed the show back in the day. So when I don't have time to watch all the shows that they have on MTV and all the trips and the adventures and stuff like that. I did watch a little bit when they were in COVID and they had that hotel that they had rented out. And I've seen a trip here and there and I'll catch a clip, but I really haven't been in it. But they brought Sammy's sweetheart back for one of their family vacations or adventures. And she and Angelina have been getting into it. And I guess it has spilled over and is really affecting the flow of the rest of the group. And Mike the Situation actually got into it in this last recent episode and was trying to break it down. And he was like, I don't like to pull out the old Mike that was the fighting guy and that was known to be the crazy Mike back in the day, the one that was run his head into the wall in Italy. But that guy's still there. He's still deep inside of me. And you don't want to provoke him or pull him out, but you can. So don't go there. So you could see him getting hyped up and amped up and ready to attack Angelina's fiance. I think boyfriend, fiance. And it was great. And then I've been seeing a lot of clips online about how Angelina and Sammy are getting into it just kind of through the season. So it's, seeing these clips, Jersey Shore, you might have me again. I might have to watch a little bit here and there on those nights that I can't sleep or anything like that. That's where I get most of my TV is in the evening. I am a major insomniac, so I watch most of my TV shows and my binge-worthy television series, and I am a documentary and docuseries fanatic. So that's at the time of when I get all that stuff done is because it's quiet in the house and it's just my dog, my cat, and I watching TV together. So, or the internet or whatever we can with our earbuds in and just kicking back and relaxing. So Jersey Shore, I think you've got me again. And I got to tell you, I think I might be a little bit excited about it. It's like having an old reunion with roommates and friends that you haven't seen in a while and getting back together, but you get thrown right back in the same situation you were 10, 15, 20 years ago. And the same situations come up, the same fights bring up, the same emotions come back up. And you suddenly regress and revert back to that person you were at that time years ago with an individual. So same thing with families, family reunions, roommates, chosen families, biological families, all that. It's all the same. So yeah, I like that family drama. So Jersey Shore, you got me. Moving over to the Bravo Sphere world. Summer House. Oh, wait, actually, let's jump back a little bit. There's one other thing I wanted to say before we go into the slippery slope of Bravo, and everyone knows I do love the slippery slope of Bravo. I like to go down that rabbit hole, break down those relationships. I don't know why I like the dysfunction, but maybe I function best in dysfunction. So let's rock and roll with it. But on other news, somewhat sad news, anybody who's a Simpson fan, and if you're not, you should be. It's one of the greatest shows ever. If not, it's definitely one of the longest running shows in television history. But it's just great. The comedic genius of it all, the timing, the characters. It's just genius on every level. And I have to tell you, there's a little fun fact. I have been a Simpsons fan since the very first mini episode clipped into the Tracy Ullman Show. So I have been watching that since its very first little insert at the Tracy Ullman Show. I can remember that episode. I loved it then, and I have been a fan ever since. So a little bit of Simpsons news. They actually killed off a character. Larry, the bar guy. He's gone. He passed, and Larry, we're going to miss you. You've been with us for many years. You've been the barfly that everybody recognized. You were the norm of your time from Cheers. And kudos to you. R.I.P. Larry. R.I.P. That's big news for Simpsons. They like to keep their characters stacked. So actually kind of kill one off it's big in the Simpsons world. So it's been a long time. But just don't take my Jasper or Mel. They're my faves. So don't get rid of them. So now let's go into Bravo. Bravo. Lots going on. A lot is happening. Let's say Summer House. I am really not liking the last few episodes with this whole Carl and Lindsay thing. I'm not liking it. And I'm going to tell you why. This conversation, I think I've said before in previous episodes, I haven't been a huge Summer House fan, but I've kind of been reeled into it this season. I've been interested in the Amanda and Kyle relationship and the whatever shit show that is. I mean, it is annoying, frustrating, understandable that she is this frustrated, but to hear it just complain, I get it. You can hear the raw emotions. That's life. You have when you have a large group of friends that are many couples and that friends, you're going to have that couple, but I feel like they haven't been together long enough for them to be in that position where she's that annoyed with him already in their relationship. But then again, it is Kyle. I mean, that guy. He's a lot to take. He is the Jax Taylor of his show. That's for sure. Like he's older. He's annoying. I don't know. There's similarities between him and Jax and definitely differences, but I think the similarities for me would be like, okay, you're this old and you're still acting this foolish. So I guess that's my point. But that whole dynamic with Kyle and Amanda, interesting. But Lindsay and Carl, I've said to you many times, I'm enjoying Paige and Craig this year. I think they're cute. I think they do need to, make Paige, you need to make a decision on what you want. Like, Craig's totally putting it out there, what he wants. And in this past episode, when he was saying, look, if when she asked him, she's like, do you have a number of an age? What's your number? That when you reach a certain age that you're going to say, if I'm not married, then I think I'm done with this relationship. Do you believe you've wasted your time? And his response pretty much was, yes, if we're not engaged and moving forward, by the age of 40, I think we're pretty much over, because I think at that point, if the ball hasn't moved forward in my life where I'm not married and working to either have kids or working to have children at that point in my life, I think I will be a little upset and slightly resentful that I've wasted all these years on this relationship and it really went nowhere. And I'm in my later, in his point, his view, I'm older in my life and I now have to start again. I've spent all these years with you and that's not working out. And now I have to start totally from scratch, find somebody else, which takes time to find that right person. And then if I find that person, then to get settled in the relationship and then start thinking about long-term within, that takes a lot of time. And some people move faster than others, but it still takes time. And so I get that. So I thought that was a good relationship. So I like that. So they need to make a decision with what they want. Well, I guess that's more what Paige wants. But I understand what she's going through, what she's feeling. I get that. She's like, I'm 30, early 30s, and he's moving a little bit faster than I would want at this point in my life. So I am a little nervous. So I understand her being so reserved in that regards. But she's also at a certain age in her life. She's either got to make that leap or walk away, I guess, So decisions there, but I still like their relationship. The whole Wes and Sierra thing, it's interesting, but that thing seems like that's going to blow up really soon. Poor Gabby, I hope she figures out what's going on in her life and she gets, in a better place where she's happy and carefree and doesn't feel so, I don't know, I would maybe judged by everyone else because she's just gorgeous and intelligent and seems to be successful and just killing it in her life. So you should be very proud of yourself because you are incredible. But getting back to Carl and Lindsay, yes, their relationship is a shit show. It is dysfunctional. It is toxic. You can tell it that it's just not going to make it. And if they did walk to the altar, that it was the marriage itself would not last. And we know, as anybody who's after a certain age in their life, when all your friends start getting married, the couples, like right before they get married, are like, well, I'm going to give this one a few years, but I'm here for the party. When you go for the wedding, that it's not going to be a successful marriage, but enjoy it while you can and enjoy their joy in that moment. So you're there for that, but you kind of know it's not going to be a long-term deal. And you can tell in the this whole season, I guess you could say that's where their relationship really kind of was going. But I feel like Carl has been laying the groundwork all season that he's just setting Lindsay up to be like this villain, to be this just horrendous person, just mean and just vicious. And she's just, just destructive and toxic to everything in his life. And she's just, so destructive to his self-esteem and just puts him down and he's a victim. And I can't with that. Yes, Lindsay is a very strong personality. No doubt about it. There is no question. She's strong. She's overbearing. She can bulldoze a conversation. She can be quite the heavy presence in the room. Sure, she is. But she's also driven, successful, talented, smart, beautiful, all those things. So she's to me, I think she's the whole package. Yes, she's strong. She's a strong cup of tea, and either you like it or you don't. Those in the middle have a really hard time handling her. But I like her. I do. I tend to have a strong personality as well. I can understand that. I do cringe a lot with her. I think she needs to be a little bit more self-aware of herself sometimes, and also be a little bit more aware that there's a camera in front of you. But that's what we like about the show. Those cameras have been following them around for many years now, and I think you can tell sometimes they're definitely, kind of editing and curbing themselves for in front of the camera. But when they are having a moment of raw emotion, you can definitely tell that they are completely unaware that those cameras are right next to them following them around, because it's just so, commonplace and normal for them. And when they just start going off and start losing control and spiraling with their emotions and their anger and whatever it may be, that's when it's great. That's because you get the real moments. And I think she brings that. She definitely has her moments where she's like, I'm going to edit this one a little bit so I don't come off so harsh. Don't we all? But I think she comes off very kind of honest about a lot of stuff. And their relationship seems hard. And you can tell this girl she's committed. She can tell that there is a lot of uncertainty in this relationship. She has a lot of questions what's going on in the relationship. She's now, has been all this season, and probably before the season started filming, like, can I see myself with this person the rest of my life? If I say I do tomorrow, and I look down the road 5, 10, 20, 25 years, but let's start small, 5 years. In 5 years, am I going to be happier than I am today? Which is really a sign. If you're not as happy, the most absolute happy and content in your relationship when you're getting married, then you should not get married, because that's the best time. All the joy is there. And usually, not always, but usually you can be a little bit younger, and a lot of life experience, the hardships haven't hit you at that point yet. So you're just experiencing life and getting into life together as a couple. So, and as they are, and they're both young, unfortunately, poor Kyle has gone through quite some life-altering experiences in the last several years. And he even said that Lindsay was a good friend to him during those times. And that's great. So not only were they friends, but they also had that connection of when he was in need, she was there emotionally and supportive for him. And that's great. So, they have a history, and if from what I have seen in clips, they've also had some turbulent times in their history as well, and arguments and stuff like that. So, it hasn't been all roses in the past with him, but no relationship ever is. But they had a friendship. That's what I'm trying to say, is that they started off being friends. So that's really the core of any relationship, is that to have that foundation of friendship in the relationship to start off with really helps that relationship when you have those rocky times, or really, really life-challenging times. Life is hard, and life can really throw out some really difficult challenges, really stressful scenes, and it's hard. It can hit you with anything. You never really know what life or the universe can throw at you at any day. So I guess, that expression, prepare for the worst and hope for the best. Yeah, that's really what you need to do, because you just really never know. Anything can hit you at any time. So that's just life. So that's good that they have that. But sometimes when you do have that history and friendship, that person so well, and their triggers, and their history, right? It's good, bad, ugly, and different. So you can recall those times, and you can like it, not like it. You can throw that back in their face, like his history with he's now in a clean lifestyle and a sober lifestyle, but she likes to throw back when he was awful, and when he was in a not sober in lifestyle, when he was drinking, and what a whatever else he might be doing, I don't know, but he admitted to drinking. So when he was in that stage of his life, and that stuff, when you were partying hard, it brings out the worst in you. It brings out your demons. And that's why they call it the truth serum, They see the worst moments of you, and she recalls that. But she likes to also throw that back in his face, which isn't really nice when somebody's on a journey to, correct those wrongs and make themselves better and move forward in a better fashion, in the better version of them. So that's not easy, having those times thrown back in your face when you're trying to move forward. But he's really kind of vilifying her. But on the flip side, she's also really supporting him. She's trying to help him find his job, his new career path. She's been there for him when, like I had said, when he was going through a lot of the emotional stuff with his family because his brother had passed away, and then he had going through some other family stuff, and it's been a lot for him. So she's been there for them, but she's in some great support and love, and she's in it. She's like, this man wants to commit to me. I love him as a person, and I'm in it, and I'm going to go through with this. I'm committed, and I'm following this all the way through. And it is so unhealthy to watch. And you can see that she definitely has her reservations on what's going wrong. She's like, what is going on? He's not career driven. I need him driven. Him sitting around feeling sorry for himself and not wanting to do anything is not, to me, a sexy look. And it's bothering me because all I'm kind of getting is this whiny, complaining version of this guy. And I don't find it attractive. I find it agitating. I am bored with it. And I can't do this all the time. This is not a healthy space for me to be in, and it's not a healthy space for him to be in. So she's trying to move the ball forward and trying to, I guess, inspire and maybe motivate him in her way, is coming off harsh and mean and, kind of calculated to make him look bad and her look good. I guess that's what some are saying, or you can maybe kind of take that impression from it. I see her trying to help it off. Yeah, I think she's frustrated. She's pissed at this point. She's like, do something at this point. I've helped you. She's like, you wanted to do a podcast. I got you all the equipment. You want to be a coach. All right, we got you training to be a coach. I've done this. It's costing a lot of money. So at this point, you need to find something. You're a compass spinning with no direction. So if you can just find something that makes you happy, you don't have to lock that in for the rest of your life, but find something that makes you happy, and let's try to do that, because seeing you miserable all the time and just depressed and moody, and that's not the best version of you. And I don't want that version of you around all the time, because it's not in turn supporting me when I'm at a highlight of my life and career, and I need that support as well. And that's the thing about a relationship. It goes both ways. It's a compromise. I support you, you support me. That's what a loving relationship does. And I don't know if it's so much, she's not getting what she needs in the relationship, and he's obviously not getting what he needs in the relationship. He feels that she's too harsh and too mean, and she, is, disappointed with him. And she is. She's pretty clear about it. And she is disappointed at this point, and she's frustrated, and she's, saying, I love you and I want to spend my life with you, but you're kind of freaking me out because the fact that you can't have stability now, at this point in your life, when you're young and unattached without a wife and children, what is going to happen when the stressors of life a couple years down the road, when you are married and we are going to have children? Because I've been very open at the fact, Lindsay, that I want children. And, and when we're there, what are you going to do when those stressors come up? Are you just going to, fall to pieces then too? Am I going to have to carry the weight of this whole family? Because that scares me. And I think those are valid concerns in her life. And I think these are absolute topics that she needs to, talk about before they get married. They haven't crossed that line yet. And they need to have that conversation. And you should probably absolutely have the conversation about a prenup, or you should have, because now the relationship's over, so it doesn't really matter. But how he's been setting things up, it's like he's setting up the tee for the perfect shot, right? In my opinion, all season when he's coming, I'm going to give her space because she just gets so angry when I'm around. Well, you're annoying. You're a little clingy, and it's tough. She wants to be proud of you. She wants to tell the world, look at my man. I'm proud of him. He's killing it in the world. He's successful. I am so proud of him, and I want to tell the world about it. Well, she's not, because when people are like, well, what is he doing? Nothing. Well, is he working? No. Well, is he, trying to gather a skill set to work? Well, he's doing this. It's a little wishy-washy. She doesn't have anything to give the world about, to talk about you. Like, other than, I love him, he's great. That's great. If he were just like a stay-at-home dad or something like that, which is a fantastic thing to do. Shout out to all the stay-at-home dads. Hardest job in the world. So great to you. If you are willing to put your life, your career, I should say, on hold to put aside your life and give it to your family and your children, that is the most selfless act in the world for any mother, stay-at-home mother, father, grandparent, loved one, aunt, uncle, whomever you may be. That is the hardest and most selfless job in the world. So tip of the hat to you. It's great. Not enough of those beautiful individuals, angels in the world, if you will, that sacrifice a lot of themselves for others. Like, it's as in any caregiver situation, for sure. But it's scary when you don't think that you'll ever have that in the future. That's frightening. And when she's trying to kind of probe him a little bit about it, is this going to happen? Is this going to happen down the road? Is this going to happen? You got to give me something to ease my worries that it's not always going to be like this. Like, this is just a temporary thing. This is just a now, not a forever now, right? And he's not making her feel confident, and he's not giving her the tools that she needs for that. And you can see the breakdown happening. And you can see her discussing it, but she's still, even though you can see that she's frustrated and pissed, she's still like, that's my man, and I'm going to support him. Him, on the other hand, this whole conversation where it goes back to the mom, the stepdad, and he's like, remember those times we were fighting? And he's just putting her on blast. And it's really making me angry, because she's there supporting him. And yes, she's frustrated, and she's talking to her friends about it. But she's still like, you know what, I just think it's a now thing, and we're going to work through it. He's like, nope, she is the worst, and I am the victim. She makes me feel awful about myself. And, she says that I'm paraphrasing here, a loser, and I'm never going to amount to anything. And and he's telling his parents that. And as a parent, you are protective of your child. And as a mother of a son, I would be pissed off if someone said that about my son. But so I understand the mom's protectiveness, and I understand the stepfather who does counseling for other couples before they marry, saying, look, you guys are, as a couple, before even marriage, you're in a very rocky spot, and maybe you should, before you go through with that date, maybe put things on pause, really focus and work on your relationship, and see if it's something that you really want to do. All good advice. But the fact that Carl's been dropping these breadcrumbs along the way. She's mean to me. She doesn't support me. She says I'm a loser. Paraphrasing, of course. I'm not saying that she actually uses words, but maybe, I don't know. She makes me feel like I'm worthless. And then Kyle makes me feel like I'm nothing in the business and he's not there supporting me. I'm still annoyed with the whole demotion thing, with the wedding, how Carl asked Kyle to be a flower boy. I thought that was just ridiculous. But, I think he could rock out the whole flower guy gig, but as we know, he didn't have to do that because the wedding didn't go through. But still to this day, I'm going to tell you, Lindsay, that wedding dress that you tried on was absolutely stunning. You looked fantastic and gorgeous in it. It fit you like a glove. So if you get the dress, keep the dress. You don't need it for a wedding or another relationship of any means, but I would rock that dress out to some other function, have it reworked into some other type of dress because it was utterly gorgeous and you looked stunning in it. So we all know it's over. I did watch her on Watch What Happens Live the other night with Andy Cohen. She looked beautiful there too in that pink sequency dress, absolutely gorgeous. She was talking about the relationship and how she was saying that it was really disheartening seeing the guy that she loves so much, and she was like, I'm trying to prop you up and support you when you are at a vulnerable time in your life and having difficult kind of deciding what you want to do. You're at crossroads of what you want to do in your life. I'm here supporting you. Unbeknownst to me, Lindsay, this is what she's saying on the show, is that you're going behind my back to your parents and to anyone and everyone who would listen to you, who had an open ear or an open shoulder to cry on, that I'm not supporting you. I'm mean to you. I'm this terrible, terrible partner, and that's hurtful. And you never had the gall to say it to my face, but you had no problem putting it out to the universe, to the world, and to many countries, because this show airs to how many ever countries. So that's bullshit. And it is bullshit. And she's right. And I got to tell you, I'm on Team Lindsay on this one. Carl, you are not making yourself look good in this situation at all. I understand you're going through a tough time. I understand you see the writing on the wall that this isn't a healthy relationship. But you don't throw your partner under the bus like that. If you have a trusted confidant, you feel like, and you had said, he said, I don't have many people to talk to. I've gone through this devastating universal flip in the last several years. Like I lost my brother and this whole new relationship with my mom. And he's talked about how this whole family shift has happened for him. And that's been hard. And this whole work thing has him and Carl and Loverboy and his other job and how that's been a difficult time for him. He's discussed that and he doesn't have many people to talk to. But if you do have those few people that you can talk to, I suggest you do it off camera, in private, where this is not going to haunt your soon-to-be partner, ex-partner, well, now definitely ex-partner, especially after she saw this air. You don't want that for them to see forever and playing it on a loop on a Bravo marathon, right? And that's what you're doing. I know you need a storyline, but there's something else that you could come up with. Because even if you went through the wedding, this is going to be played again. And if you think Lindsay is not agitated with you now, think of what she's going to be in a year from now. When next year on the holidays, when Bravo's playing the marathon shows during the holiday times when there's nothing else being filmed, so they're playing all the reruns. Just wait when she sees this over and over and over again. She's mean to me. She's awful. I don't think I can get married. I don't know if she's the woman for me. And she's, at that time, your wife. Never going to work. So it's a good thing that you guys called off the wedding when you did. It was never going to happen. And if it did happen, God, it would have been a great party, I'm sure. But after that, after the party's over, it was not ever going to be fun again. About other relationships that are never going to be fun again. Let's move over to Vanderpump Rules. They're getting ready to approach the season finale. I think it's next week. I'm not 100% sure if it's next week or the following week. I think it might be next week. I know that they have just filmed the reunion. I believe they just filmed the reunion or are getting ready to film the reunion. I think, they filmed the reunion. It's going to be good. I'm enjoying watching James and Allie this year. It's interesting to see interesting to see Katie and the new revolution of Katie. I like her. She's really coming out of herself. She's feeling herself. She's bold. She's empowered. She's single. She's ready to take on the world. So I like seeing this free, emboldened, empowered Katie. I like it. It's interesting. And how she just scowls and is entertained now, kind of watching back at her ex, Tom Schwartz, because she's just like, you can see that there's definitely a friendship and a cuteness that they still have, and she's trying to find that friendship, and you could see it in the last couple episodes when they have some sweet moments together where they're chatting, and you can see the friendship that was always there in the relationship, but you can see that she is so happy to not deal with his just ridiculousness anymore. So I like seeing her. Tom Schwartz is always just so wishy-washy to me. I find he drives me nuts. I enjoy watching him. I do, but he's like a pinball machine to me. Like, he really is. He's left, right, left, right, left, right. He's on, off, on, off, on, off. It's whatever the way goes. He's so wishy-washy. He drives me crazy, and I can't. And I really don't like how he is with women. You know, I don't like how he acts with women, how he treats women, how he is in the relationship. He always indirect with everything. He kind of leads them on a little bit. However, he is dating somebody new right now, and he seems to be quite open and with her and taking her places out in the Bravo world where he did not with Joe. He kind of kept her under wraps and led her along a little bit. He seems to be a little bit more outgoing and a little bit more vocal about this new girl. So that's good. So he's not really so unclear about his relationship with this new person. So good luck to the new girl. You've got your hands full. That's for sure. Brock and Sheena, you can see that they're definitely having some challenges in their relationship right now. They've only been married for a couple years. They have a very young daughter, and they are They are a very cute couple. I like them. I can see that Brock's really trying to come into himself here in the U.S. and to his new marriage, this friend group, the show, everything. Like, he's really trying to tread water, if you will, and really trying to figure it out. And I kind of like watching his journey. You can see it's been a bit of a little bit of a challenge, but he's trying. Sheena does not seem like the easiest of individuals, but I do find her to be absolutely adorable. And she does seem to be very, very sweet. And in all the interviews and things like that, she does seem to actually be quite sweet. A little bit wishy-washy with her friend Ariana, though. I got to tell you that. Just jumping right back with Tom Sandoval. I understand that he was your friend for a long time, too. That's always weird when couples have friends that are couples, and then those couples break up, and you're like, who do I choose? You know, I really like them. I like both of them. I don't want to lose both of them as friends, but usually at the end of the day, you do tend to lose one because you're a better friend with the other. So I do feel for Sheena in that situation, but I do like watching her and Brock. But getting back to what I was saying about their relationship, you can see that they're having a little bit of some hardships, right? They have a really young kid. They haven't been married that long. And that's when you tend to have those challenges in relationship, right? Like, once you have a kid, your whole world changes. Everything you knew in your relationship before you had kids is different. It will be different. Everything is different. the way you guys handle each other as a couple, the way you speak to each other, the things that you found to be funny and cute and quirky might drive you crazy afterwards, because then you have a kid, you have somebody else that you're responsible for. So it's not just them. You're not just focused on your partner anymore. You now have a child that you're focused on. And most of the time, especially when the kids are that little, they are your main focus and your priority. So trying to balance that shift in the relationship's not easy. So trying to figure it out is, I think, pretty normal in relationships, especially in that time of in the relationship. So what I think they're going through is normal, but it's always sad to see when they have challenges, and especially when she was just so hopeful a couple years ago when they were getting married. So I hope they work through it. I hope they stay strong in this relationship. They are very cute. No relationship is easy, and especially having cameras follow you around and having to pour your heart out on camera and explain it to the whole world what's going on in your relationship. That cannot be easy. So I hope they make it. I hope they do make it through the long haul. They are adorable. James and Allie are cute, very, very cute. And I like watching their relationship. I hope, James, that you stay a good boy. Allie, you seem to be very good for him and keep him in check. So I hope that works out. James, she's a keeper. Please keep her. But Tom and Ariana, just when I think I can't be grossed out more by Tom, I really am. I don't like the way he's handling the situation. Now he is the victim because he wanted his mistress, Rachel, to stay in contact with him. And, I personally think that he's so upset that she didn't stay in contact with him, Tom Sandoval, because she eventually has been on a podcast and has not responded back to him and pretty much, said, I no longer want contact with you. You're not healthy for me. And it's true. She obviously was not a good headspace when she met him, right? She was vulnerable. She had a breakup, and you can see that she was definitely very sensitive. I'm going to put sensitive as the word to use. Individual in many ways, aspects of her character and personality. So I think that Tom Sandoval, being older and just kind of being grody, saw those sensitivities with bells and whistles on. And he definitely maybe exploited and took advantage of those vulnerabilities. I think so. Personally, my opinion. And that's how she became weakened by him. She probably always thought he was cute anyway, and he was always nice to her and did a lot of good things for her. So, I mean, she probably had a little crush on him for a long time, underlying, but she was in a relationship and it wasn't really able to kind of surface. So now that she was in that opportunity where it could happen, and he was green-lighting it, and God knows what stories he was telling Rachel, because evidently it was out there. He was telling, so it had been said that he was telling people in the universe that him and Ariana had an open relationship. So maybe she thought they did have an open relationship. So the mind fuckery of it all, if you will, like he was just playing mind games with this young girl. And again, I hate to use the phrase young and dumb, but the reason it is a phrase is because you have to live and learn. You have to experience life. Like, we all ignored signs when we were younger because we thought we knew and understood, and we thought we would never let those things happen to us. We were too smart at a young age, and things happen to us. That's why we live, we learn, and there is why there is a saying, respect your elders, with age comes wisdom, right? So true. So I definitely think that she was a little bit vulnerable. He took advantage of the situation, and I think the whole thing was wrong. I think they were both wrong, both Rachel and Tom Sandoval, completely wrong. You screwed over a good girl, Ariana, right? I'm not saying that Ariana and Tom didn't have issues in the relationship. It seemed like they clearly did. You know, they had been together for about 10 years. And anybody who's been in a relationship for 10 years, there's going to be issues. And Ariana's a very strong personality. She's a bold personality. She's spicy. I like it. I like it a lot. That's why everyone likes Ariana, because she keeps it real. She keeps it spicy. She tells it like it is, and she's strong. And that's what makes her great. And she's beautiful. Full package, right? And to see how she's kind of stepped aside to support this guy who wants this, wants that, and wants this. He wants everything. And he's, like I said before, kind of mediocre at everything he does. But she's like, that's okay. I love this guy. I am going to stand by him and support him. And, and she did. And he let her down in so many areas. And that's okay. She was still ride or die for him. And for him to do her dirty like that still just makes me gross. And to be so deceitful and hide behind it. Just that whole slithering game of just the con of getting away with it. The whole game of him sneaking around behind her back in their house, wherever, vacations, and taking this side piece is gross. It's absolutely gross. How could you do that to somebody that's been so good to you? And that's what's really hideous about the situation. And not only, it was friends, the lack of trust, the lies, the deceit, the cover up, all of it. It's just awful. And to do that for her, and then for him to act like he's the victim, that it wasn't that bad. Yeah, you screwed up, and now you have to pay with the consequences. And that's life, Tom. That is life. So, and now Tom Sandoval, after he put out that offer to Tom Schwartz to move in because he wants to keep the house, is not only a ridiculous one, but of course, enabling Tom Schwartz is going to do it for Sandoval. So they had the whole San Francisco trip, and he bought him the keychain because now it's official. They're going to be roommate officials. I don't know if it's 100% official yet. I do know that Ariana has recently bought her own new home in the Hollywood Hills. So congratulations, Ariana. Good on you. She's killing it. She's got her gig on, Love Island, USA. She's the host there. So she just had her stint on Broadway as Roxy. She also was doing commercials. She had Dancing with the Stars. So good on you. And you got away. You got away and you seem happier, and you'll be much happier on the show once you get away from Tom. I know that the wound is still fresh. The wound has not healed yet because this show started filming like right after they had the reunion. So this is still pretty fresh. So now time has passed. They have another reunion. That's going on. So I can't wait to see where this goes now, because now that she has her own place, she's out. She's dating Dan. Next season should be really good to see Ariana. She's going to be living her life loud, out there, single, and I can't wait to watch it. Lala, I want to give you a quick shout because I just thought that whole sperm donation party was great. How you picked out the at Lisa Vanderpump's house. And I love the fact that Lisa Vanderpump's like, I had more fun conceiving your child than my own. I just thought that was funny because it was kind of like Bachelorette meets the dating game. It was great how they were helping her pick out their sperm donor. I thought that was great. I talked about it the other day. I loved it so much. And she is pregnant. I think she's due at the end of this summer. I believe that's what it was at the end of the summer. And I am really excited about it. So she has beautiful little babies. Lala's gorgeous. She's killing it right now. And it should be fun. So I've been blabbing around, just going off on some hot topics and Bravo news for the last hour. So there's so much more I have to say, and I'm going to come back. This is probably going to be a two-parter today because there's a lot that I just, there's so much to get into. We still have to talk about the Real Housewives of New Jersey coming back. We still have to cover up the Valley. Don't even get me going on the couples on the Valley. I want to talk about, Sonia Morgan's house, her townhouse in New York City. That's getting ready to go up on auction. I want to talk about what's going on with the news. What's talking about with Alexis and her husband, and that just filed for divorce on The Real Housewives of Miami. What's going on in other Bravo news? What's going on in the pop culture events? What's going on in movies? What's going on in documentaries? What's going on school campuses? What's going on in politics? We have so much that we want to get into and break down. And I'm so excited, Polly Winers. I have some guest lines up in the next couple weeks, so we're going to have some great interviews coming away. So please stay with me. Follow me on Polly Wine Time on the gram. Follow me on YouTube and wherever else you can find me. Until next time, have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye.